Hey guys, so I'm gonna be taking you with me cooking today. So I have all of the ingredients laid out here, and I'm gonna be following a recipe that I seen from Facebook, and it's pretty simple, but it looked really good to me. So, and most of the ingredients I already had, so all I really need was to get some ham and some half and half for the recipe, and that was about it. Ingredients that you're gonna need, like I said, you're gonna need ham. I bought the Hatfield sweet brown sugar ham steak, and I'm just gonna like cut these up into like some cubes. You're gonna need half and half, and you're going to need some cheese, which I already had cheese. So I have this cheddar cheese blend, and then I also have mild cheddar depending on how cheesy I want it to be. You're gonna need some butter. You're gonna need some chicken stock, chicken broth, and you're going to need some noodles and some, it called for some onion and some garlic in it, but me and Drew don't really like chunks of onion and stuff, so I have onion powder and garlic powder to kind of season up with, and also some salt and pepper. So I am going to show you how to make it. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter, so we're going to cut our butter here. I just kind of cut right through the wrapper, and then the wrapper that's left on this, I'll just use to kind of wrap this end up. So I'm gonna place that into the pot, and then we'll wrap this up and put it back in the fridge. So we got the butter in there, it's melting, and then the recipe calls for like the onions and the garlic, if you want to go ahead and put that in there and kind of brown that up a little bit, but I'm gonna skip that step, and I'm just gonna cut up the ham here. And like I said, I'm going to cut these up into like kind of cube little shapes, and then I'm going to season it with, you know, the salt and the pepper and the garlic powder and the onion powder that I have sitting here. So I got the ham all cut up into little cubes, and the butter is all melted. So now we're going to add the cubes in. And get those nice and kind of toasted up a little bit. Just get them a little bit brown and cooked. Get all that butter flavor in there with it. Okay, so we got the ham in there. So now I'm going to add, you know, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And then we're going to add some of the onion powder in. So a little bit of that. And then we're going to put a little bit of the garlic powder in. Okay, good for that. So now let me get a spoon. And I'm going to kind of stir that around a little bit, just to kind of get that all coated. It smells really good. And then this meal, it's supposed to be like a 1-pot meal, because we all know how it is whenever you have some kind of recipe that you want to try, and it requires you to dirty up like 10 pots and pans, and you just are left with all of those dishes to do, and you know that it just kind of makes it miserable at the end. So it's nice that this is just a 1-pot meal. So we're going to let this brown up a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. So now we're ready for the next step. So I'm going to add my chicken broth, but first we got to measure it. So this, it calls for 4 cups. Okay, so we have our 4 cups we're going to add in here with the ham. Okay, and then we're going to add 1 cup of the half and half. So let's pour 1 cup of that, and this is just supposed to kind of make it a little bit more creamy. So we're going to add that in. Okay, and then we're going to add our noodles in. So this is going to come to a boil, that way the noodles cook, and then we're going to add a little bit more salt and pepper, and then the last step, I believe, is just to add the cheese. So let's add the noodles. Okay. So give that a little bit of a stir. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper. Just season her up a little bit. Okay, so stir it up a little bit, and then we're gonna let this sit and come to a boil, and then we'll show you the next step. So once your pot comes to a boil, you're gonna turn it down to about medium. Let that go for a couple of minutes, and then we will add in the cheese. Also, you kind of want to keep stirring it every once in a while, just to make sure like the noodles aren't sticking at the bottom of the pot. Also you're gonna keep doing this until the noodles are tender, and then add in the cheese. I'm gonna add the link below to the exact recipe that I'm using, and it'll have, you know, all the measurements and instructions, and then you can save it for your own personal use for whenever you want to try this out. So I will let you guys know when the next step is. Okay, so we're gonna uncover this, and we're gonna add in the cheese and mix all of that up. So here's this cheese. Okay, so we'll mix this in. I think I'll add the other bag too, because I like things really cheesy. So let's add the other bag in as well. Okay, so that should be enough cheese. So we'll get this stirred up, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the finished product, and it is super cheesy. So I'm excited to try this and dive in.
My grandpa taught me about buck knives and shotguns, how to cast an old Zitka, how to work a stick shift. He taught me the Bible about all 12 disciples. He made sure that I know there's life after this, with pearly gates and streets of gold. And if I just believe, that's where I'll go. Lord, when I die, I wanna live on the outskirts